guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you 3 brand new Christmas in July DIYs. So let's get started. For my very first one, I'm using a round that I picked up on Facebook Marketplace, but you can also, if you're lucky enough, find one of these at a Dollarama in their kitchen section as cheese boards. So I'm going to be painting it, only half of it, and I'm using painter's tape to divide the board in half and to get that straight edge. I am using any Sloan Graphite chalk paint. I love this paint. It is a gray black paint, and I think it gives it more of a softer black look. Once that is completely covered, I remove the tape immediately so that way there is no tearing of the paint. And I'm going to be transferring letters that I cut out using my Cricut Maker, and I just cut out the word Merry Christmas onto it. You could also use a stencil if you have one. Dollar Tree tends to have these stencils right around Christmas time, so make sure you keep your eyes out so you can pick one of them up. If your handwriting is good, you could also do that. Now, I would also like to mention that this video is part of a hub that is hosted by Yanni and Diane from Deco Easy. Make sure you check out their channel. I will link their video channel in my description box. And if you're not familiar with the way the hub works, there will be a link to the next person in my description box that you can hop on over once you are done watching my video, and that person will have another person, and eventually you will make a full circle back to me. So tons of Christmas in July DIY inspirations for you coming in this hub, so make sure you check them all out. When you are transferring these letters on, you just want to make sure that you are centered. I just think that will make it look so much better if it's right in the middle. Now, I love the way it looks as it is, but I am not done yet. I am going to be using some of the supplies that I had left over from Christmas holiday last year that I was using for DIYs. I will be using the black and white and red and white buffalo check ribbon, as well as a burlap ribbon. And then I have this Christmas pick that was left over from my projects, as well as some berries. Now, I am not an amazing bow maker. I am still learning, and I feel practice makes perfect. So I just fold these into the middle, and then I twist tie them with a white pipe cleaner, and then pull them apart and trim the pipe cleaner, the back of it off. I also trim the little greenery just to make it a little bit smaller, and then I place it, and once I am certain it is right in the spot that I wanted, I hot glue it on. I think this turned out so good, good enough to sell in my opinion. I am not going to be selling this because I love it as it is. I am also adding a mini pine cone right in the middle. I think that just looks really pretty with it on. So let me know what you think. Is it good enough to sell? For my next project, I am going to be using this frame, or as I should say, artist panel. It's a wooden panel that I had gotten at Dollar Tree, I'm pretty sure. Dollarama carries it as well, and I'm going to stain it, the edge of it, with the special walnut stain from Very Thin, and I'm going to paint the middle with the Annie Sloan Old White. Now, I'm also going to be using the Jenga blocks just to make the frame stand up and give it some feet. Now, once I had glued these on and proceeded to staining them, I realized I wasn't loving that the letters Jenga were showing up. So you will see in a little bit that I end up taking these off and gluing them in a different way just so that Jenga writing doesn't show up. I will be using a rag to apply the stain, and like I said, I am just applying it to the edges to create that frame look. And I will be painting the middle with the white paint. I'd also would like to say welcome if you're stopping by for the very first time, and welcome if you are a repeat customer. I appreciate you very much. And if you are stopping by for the very first time, I would love it if you consider pressing the subscribe button and becoming part of my YouTube family. Over here on my DIY channel, obviously I create tons of different DIYs, from trash to treasure to dollar store makeovers, sprinkled in with some furniture upcycles. So make sure that notification bell is on so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. And if you would like to see how I showcase some of these DIYs that I create, make sure you head on over to my home channel, link in the description box, where you can see how I decorate my home with a ton of these DIYs. I love using them in my decor. So once I have painted and stained, I proceed in cutting out these wood rounds. I am using these wood rounds that came from Dollarama. Now, if you are lucky enough to get a small embroidery wheel, this would work as well. And I'm using just a craft knife and X-Acto knife to cut the middle, and on the as you saw, I used a lid from the Bath & Body Works candle as my guide. I think this gives it a nice, thick frame, a border, I guess, that I like. And then I'm using the buffalo plaid fabric that I picked up at Dollar Tree last year, still right around Christmas time. It was their fabric rounds that they had, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And I had just this left over. I hope they bring them back in so I can buy some more, because I've done tons of DIYs last year using this fabric and I would like to do it again. I'm using tacky glue and a brush to glue the fabric on. You can probably use any type of glue, would work, I think, in my opinion, even hot glue. You just want to make sure that you don't have too many lumps and you don't burn yourself. So once I spread the glue on, I put the fabric on and I just press it down and smooth it out so it's nice and smooth. So this is where I said that the embroidery loop would work really well as well, because you would just put the embroidery loop and the fabric together and just press it in. So I'm going to use hot glue to glue this frame onto the fabric, and then I'm going to use a rotary cutter just to trim it. Now you could also just fold it and glue the fabric to the back.
The wonders of life got the prettiest side for everyone to enjoy.
Now I wanted to add a little bit of decor to the frame, so I take another Christmas pick that I got last year from Dollar Tree, trim it down just because it doesn't need to be that bushy and big, and hot glue it to the top, and then I use a mini pine cone that came from Dollar Tree as well and glue that in the middle. And you can also add maybe some writing or something else to the middle of it, but I loved it just as it is, nice and simple. And once that is on, I let it dry, and then I'm going to add some lines into my frame using just random piece of wood that was almost long enough, and I wanted to create that shiplap look. So I think this did the job and I love the way it turned out. And then I proceed on gluing the little frame to it using hot glue.
Wherever I go, I got you.
I think this turned out so cute and so simple, and because it's so simple, I think it will look great in any home Christmas decor. For my next project, I am using a charger plate that I picked up at Dollar Tree a while back, and I'm just adding a little bit of that graphite to the edges because I wanted to make sure that some of that black shows through once I painted with the Sloan Old White, because I didn't want too much of the gold showing through. I wanted it to be more darker to give me that rustic farmhouse look. I take the rag just to blend it in a little bit and take any of the maybe too much paint if it blobbed over, just to take it off. And then I paint the whole piece once that dried with my Sloan white paint. And then using that rag again, just take some of it off. You could also use a soft sanding paper, but I was worried I was going to scratch it. And then I had this ribbon on hand from last year as well, and I just pull it apart. Now, I really want your opinion. Let me know if I should have kept the ribbon off, or do you like it with the ribbon? I wasn't quite sure that I loved it with the ribbon once I hot glued the ribbon on.
The wonders of life got the prettiest side for everyone to enjoy.
Once your plate is fully dry, I had cut out Joy with my Cricut Maker and transferred it on, but you want to make sure that your plate is 100% dry, because otherwise the letters won't stick. Mine wasn't 100% dry, so I did end up adding some Mod Podge just to make sure that the letters did not fall off. And then once that was completely on and the way I liked it, I had glued the ribbon onto the top. So this is where, like I said, let me know down in the comments, would you keep the ribbon on or off?
Glimmering light, I am right where I want to be. I will be home for a couple of days.
So I would love to know which one was your favorite. I am quite happy with the way they all turned out. Like I said, aside from this ribbon, which I'm not 100% sure, I do love the way they all turned out. So I would like to thank Diane and Yanni for hosting this hop. Make sure you check out their video as well as the video that's linked in the description box for you to hop on over to. I am excited for Christmas in July videos. I have several more coming your way, so make sure that notification bell is on. And I would like to thank every one of you for stopping by, pressing that play button, and sticking around to watching this video. Until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching.
Got the prettiest side for everyone to enjoy. Standing up close by the Christmas tree,